right here. And I turned around and I looked, and one of my homeboys, he was laying there on the floor. What happened? I go to the right, and I seen a bullet hole right in his chest. I was sitting there, I was trying to help him, and sitting there, and I was like, man, I couldn't believe that. I never had a person die right there in my arms. And I was just trying my hardest to help him, and there was nobody around. So I laid him down and I told him, just be strong, you know. I went to go call, ambulance and stuff, and came back and tried to help him and stuff, but it was too late. I couldn't do nothing about it. They made me go to the hospital. I didn't want to go. I don't like going to the hospital. It takes forever. It takes up my time. I could be doing something else besides sitting in the hospital, waiting for them to heal me. Because at the times when I did get shot, most of the time I was just buzzing. And it just felt like a little pinch. I got stabbed one time too. And I didn't feel that either. Well, I felt it, but then it was like whatever, it didn't matter. It didn't really hurt me. It was like whatever, it was like a little sting and that's it. But then at that time I had to go to the hospital because I had to get stitches. It was like right here behind my ear, like that, and they stabbed me like that. They tried to stab me like that, but they didn't get the chance to. And this is when I was getting in a fight in my rival neighborhood. And then the last time, they bust my head open, and I had to go to the hospital for that. But I never went back to go take out the stitches. I took them out myself.
Muau and her sister Wendy grew up in a family of 5 girls. Their father, a former Marine and a longshoreman, describes himself as a strong disciplinarian and believed his girls should be able to protect themselves.
Well, I'll be talking to my girls, telling them how to hit. Said the most delicate wrist can knock a big dude down. And keep that wrist straight. Instead of like you see girls fight, they just slap like this or grab the hair, where they could be able to get down and just hit like a man.
My father, he did hit me, he hit all of us. And he used to beat us all the time. It didn't matter. He's like, for us, we always stuck together.
Muau and Wendy followed their older sister into the gang. Like most girls who join gangs, they choose to dress like the male gangsters.
Dressing like a girlish type or anything like that, it was never me. I would dress like a guy, in other words. I would just slick my hair back and just, put my hair in a braid or just kick it. To me, I would look just like a guy. And when I go through my rival neighborhood, I just walked, to me, the only thing that goes through my mind is you gotta be down for yours, no matter if they pull out a gun on you or what, or they try to stab you or jump you.
Muau shows no fear when walking into situations where she might encounter a rifle, though she never carries a gun.
Being down for your neighborhood is like, you don't give, you're down for your neighborhood as in, what can I say? Like, if somebody wants to fight you or jump you, you gotta be down with you. You gotta, go against them. So in other words, you gotta be brave. Being down is being brave. As for me, there's no way of avoiding me getting jumped by guys or getting shot at by guys, stabbed by guys, because they just don't really care. Most of the guys that see me, they think that I'm a guy. So, and when they do find out that I'm a girl, it doesn't really go through their mind. It's like they don't care. So in other words, you can't really avoid any of the guys jumping you or shooting at you or anything like that. At times I would go to my rival neighborhood and I would just yell out my neighborhood, Ricky's Town, it's all about Ricky's Town, what's up? Come on out, come out to play. I do it for fun and just to have some action. It's when I get bored, I just go out there and I may be causing trouble, but hell, we don't even get along with them, so what's the use, you know? So hell, I just go and if something happens, it just happens.
While she's on the street, Muau keeps up the image of a young warrior. But since the death of her friend just 3 weeks before we met her, she's been writing poems that reveal a different side of her.
As I sit here, all I can see is pretty much a blur, wondering what may happen in my future. As I think to myself, if I keep walking down this dark path, always remembering all the bad things that happened in my past. As a few good memories pass through my mind, I come to believe this dark path I walk, I'm soon going to find myself laying in a dark black hole, thinking to myself, why didn't I listen to what I was told? As the pain inside me is not letting me be free, I don't know where to turn to or who to turn to. So as I sit in my room feeling down and blue, I always wish I could die so I don't have to feel the tears that come down my eyes. And so I don't feel the pain in my heart that is just tearing me apart. And that's one of the poems that I wrote. And whenever I sit in there and I have nothing to do, I just sit there and I'll write.
Well, I'm a Capricorn, known to be an evil gangster, raised and grown into a young born prankster. Up in the head as much as it can be. I have a chemical imbalance, the shrink told me. I don't know where it started or how it came to be, but she said something about genetics and my family history. So there it was.
Lalista is 18. She was just released after half a year in custody for gun possession. She's left a trail of enemies from her drug dealing and feels it would be dangerous to reveal her identity. But she agreed to tell her story and record her raps for this broadcast.
So there it was, a logical explanation, giving me reason for my criminal occupation's addiction.
I got jumped in and I was young. I was 14 and I was still trying to hide it from my parents because I was like, I didn't want them to know. And so basically I just go, I'm spending the night at, my friend's house and we're gonna go to the movies, we're gonna go here. And every time we do that, we just be in the neighborhood till like 6 in the morning, not even having no place to sleep or nothing. We just be kicking it. And I like being like when it's dark, when you're on the streets and you're standing on the street corner and everyone's just drinking, partying. I wanted to go down like so bad all the time. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be known. I wanted to be like not just like, she's just there. I wanted to put in work to get a name. Eventually my parents found out that I was from a gang, and then after that I was just like, whatever. They're gonna know anyway, so I just went all full on into it.
Cuba le vatos, cholos, and freaks. Yo soy la lista and I'm up the streets. Kicking it loca in the city of LA. Every night and day.
Oh, I got a lot of flack from my mom, man. That's why I ran away when I was young, because she's tripping out on my hair. She started beating me with the hairbrush and she started spitting in my face. She screamed at me, she goes, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. And I was like, oh, I never forgot that. I forget a lot of things, I black a lot of things out, but I'll never forget that. And after that, boom, I jammed. That's when I went to stay with my old man.
It was my luck that he lived nearby, so I said, that I'm gonna make the school my guy. 3 months later, we hooked it up, and then I moved into his pad, and we started to. He was the first and only vato who had ever been with me. He was the lucky one I let take my virginity. I was naive and young, but it was lots of fun. If there was anyone who instigated, I was the one.
I'm like, got this little fantasy world, like we're gonna be together, and he ended up getting so many times he's gotten shot up. I used to take care of him, put the gauze on him and all that stuff, and he'd clean his wounds and all that. And it was like, I kept telling him, like, come on, I was like, let's just stop, let's have it just be us. And he was like, he was doing it half, like he'd be like, yeah, I want to be with you, but then I want to do this. And then, once you're with the homeboys and everything, all the hyenas, you start partying, and he started messing up, and I was like, it drove me insane.
It's how it all starts, and that's how it ends. And then he walks down on you for one of your friends. We were together about a year and a couple of months. While I was loving him, he was stabbing other. Well, I'll tell you you what happened and what I did. I wrapped my hands